We plan to make history here this evening.
All right, what's up, everybody? Week 12 of the NFL season is here. Coming off for us a good week betting-wise. We'll get to that here in a second. Second of all, B-Ballers from the Detroit League got his first win in 11 tries. Congratulations. Went to get some champagne.
I brought a little speech here to I'd like to thank.
College-wise,
3-2.
3-2. If he stayed away from his home team, actually, if we both all stayed away from the home teams this week, we would have did a lot better. But
they've been screwing me left and right.
But I was 9-5, 8-6, 8-4. But it was a so-so week. Just we had a couple chances. Go figure. We went against the Steelers. They got us again. Big deal. I mean, it was amazing how they got into that game and actually kept it within 3.5. Shouldn't have happened. Whatever. I've just got a Steelers problem this year.
Just stop betting them.
Exactly. We put up our new ranking system last week, where we actually took a combined effort of both our things. And we don't do them together. He does his, and I call, and then I just add them together. Now we did have some ties. There were a couple 3 teams that had 9s, and what I did was the team that had the lowest ranking, say he had a 2, I had it at 7. That went ahead of everything else. So, and that's how that got ranked out. But if you looked at our ranking system this week, actually it worked out. The top 5 actually all hit. So that's pretty good. The Ravens were number 6. Like I said, that's a Steeler thing. Obviously, should have had those guys a lot lower. And then our Rams were in there, and we run into a little funky stuff there in the middle. But at the bottom, Chargers, Browns, we got, and then I think the only one we disagreed on, which, like I said, we do these separate, so we only disagreed on the Jacksonville game. So I mean, so far so good with that. We'll keep doing it. I probably won't post them up. We'll probably do it tonight. We just sat down here and started doing this stuff, so I'll hopefully get those rankings up pretty quick. But let's go ahead and get started. If you had the over-under at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds-ish, you probably hit.
You can see that?
I know. I was just pretending. But we got 3 Thursday night games. The first one, the Texans are going to Detroit. The Texans are a 3.5-point favorite on the road. Didn't look very good against Jacksonville. Gave up a ton of points. Detroit, I think, is without wide receiver Titus Young this week. I think it's not even an injury thing. I think it's
I saw something about that today too.
So it's going to be a little bit tougher, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Texans on the road at 3.5. I mean, I really think the Texans have something to play for this year, and hopefully their defense should tighten back up. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they didn't game plan for Henne last week, or they just had a better quarterback, and maybe they weren't really. I don't know what the game when you got Gabbert and no running back. I don't know what you're playing for anyway. But
still a surprise, though. I mean, how bad they looked defensively, but. I was shocked to find that, the Lions have been doing this Thursday game, Thanksgiving Day, for 72 years or whatever it is, and they're under 500. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought they were a little more. I know they've had some bad stretches of teams, but I like Houston. I think they woke up last week. They had that close call. I expect them to come into this game prepared and cover 3.5.
Yeah, maybe use Arian Foster a little bit more this week. They didn't use him too much.
I don't have him in my team, so
I do. Next up, we have the Cowboys hosting the Redskins. The Cowboys were a 3-point favorite on the road. The Redskins looked really good against a really bad team last week. RG3 basically just took the thing over. But this week with the Cowboys in November, whatever it is, I don't know. They seem to play a lot better. I think Romo in home November games is undefeated. And so go ahead and give me the Cowboys in this one, even though the Cowboys have had an up and down year. Cowboys -3. I like that at home being only a field goal difference. So.
Okay, so he's undefeated at home, but what's he against the spread? Because I bet you it's nowhere near.
Yeah, he's probably not. But like I said, it's just some freak November. I mean, I don't know for what it is. The Cowboys just play better in November and on. So
yeah, no, you're right though. Washington did beat a bad team, but Dallas barely beat a bad team at home. The big difference, or what I see could sway this game for me, is Cowboys are a -9 on the turnover ratio. Washington's a +10. We all know that Dallas has a means of finding a way to shoot themselves in the foot. I expect that to happen again. I like Washington to cover 3 here.
And next up we have the Jets, who beat our St. Louis Rams last week, and the Rams just an uninspired effort. Play the Patriots. Now, right now this line is at 7 points. I would jump all over that. The Patriots by 7. Patriots are, even without Rob Gronkowski, which you guys, the Patriots just deserve that. I mean, if you ever look, it's called run the ball, kill the clock, get out there with a win. But no, they go all the time. He breaks his arm on a extra point.
4 minutes left in the game.
Exactly. Patriots got what they deserve right there. But still, even without Gronkowski, tons of people still to throw to. Brady will make anybody look better. So give me the Patriots by 7.
Yeah, and you got Edelman starting to step up. Hernandez coming back. I was listening to the radio today. They were talking about the game with the Rams and the Jets, and they said during the game the Jets players were calling the offensive plays as they were going. That's because we have Brian Schottenheimer as our offensive coordinator, which he was with the Jets prior to this. So you've got to think that Jets' performance maybe was a little skewed with that.
I don't know what happened. That game was just horrible. I mean, he was there. I watched it from home, and I had to turn it off after I think it was only like a 10-point difference, but you could just tell the Rams had nothing.
I had about 15 Jets fans there at our tailgate that I'm friends with, unfortunately, and I'll never hear the end of it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking the I know that the last time they played, I think it was 29-26. New England won earlier this year. I look for New England. They're on a roll right now. I like them to cover 7.
And next up, we have the Bengals hosting the Raiders. Right now, this point spread is the Bengals are favored by 8 at home. Go ahead and give me the Raiders plus 8. The whole reason being is that stat I brought up last week about the point spread being between 7.5 and 9.5 this year. It was something ridiculous like 3 and I don't remember 9. Well, last week the trend continued. I think one team covered and that was the Patriots last week with their plus 9. Everybody else that was in that 7.5 to 8 did not cover. Raiders can score some points. Just look for this game to be a fun up and down the field game. Plus 8, no problem. Give me the Raiders to actually cover.
I'm going to take Cincinnati just because I don't like your logic.
I'm just playing the total stats on that.
No, Cincinnati the last 2 games have looked really well. They dominated a New York Giants team. They blew out a pretty bad Kansas City team. 1 at home, 1 on the road. I like the Bengals to continue that here at home. They're going against Carson Palmer. They know Carson Palmer. They probably know what his weaknesses are and how to get him in situations to extort those weaknesses. So give me Cincinnati to cover 8 here.
And next up we have the Colts at home playing the Buffalo Bills. The Colts are a 3-point favorite at home. Look for the Colts to kind of get back to what they were heading to before that game last week. They gave up a ton of points. I think one special teams return, 1 interception return for a touchdown, and I think another time
2 defensive touchdowns.
Right. So I mean, the Colts put up a lot of points no matter what, and look for that to continue this week. The Bills are not a very good team at all, so give me Indianapolis minus 3.
I'm going to take Indy here also. I thought Buffalo's defense actually looked decent last week against Miami. That's probably not saying a lot.
Yeah.
But I still like Indianapolis at home here to cover 3.
And we have the Broncos without, what's-his-face, McGahee. 10.5-point favorite on the road against the Chiefs in a division game. 10.5 points, I still like the Broncos. I mean, the Chiefs are just a joke. And I mean, they've gotten to the point now where they're already wearing the bags, and I think they all wore black last week just to show their hatred right now for their own team. Broncos minus 10.5, I'll take it.
If you look at my paper, I initially had the Broncos picked here, and I scratched it out. One, this is a division game. It's a rivalry game. This is a big rivalry for Kansas City. 2, as I look back, as bad as Kansas City has been, they've had good games. At home against Baltimore, they lost 9-6. On the road to Pittsburgh, they lose, 16-3 or whatever, 16-13, whatever it was. They've had bad games, but they've had some close games too. Being this is Denver at KC, I'm going to take Kansas City to cover 10.5 at home here.
And next up we have the Tennessee Titans going to Jacksonville. The Titans are a 3-point favorite on the road. The Jacksonville Jaguars found a new quarterback. I mean, last week they put up a hell of a lot of points. Justin Blackman went freaking berserk. I mean, shit, 237, crap. Go ahead and give me the Titans this week. You're going to see a lot of Chris Johnson, obviously. I think I don't know what happened last week. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars. How do you explain that out of nowhere? Is it the quarterback change? The quarterback gets hurt, and all of a sudden you bring in the backup, which he played well in Miami before coming to Jacksonville. I mean, that was just weird to watch. I mean, you're sitting there watching the score. It was with a good defense. So I don't know. Look for maybe Jacksonville to come back to earth, and Tennessee Titans just probably an ugly game, but 3 points on the road. Give me the Titans.
Yeah, I don't see this being a high scoring game, but I do see Tennessee covering 3.
Yeah. And we got the Atlanta Falcons and the Buccaneers playing at Tampa. Go ahead and give me the Falcons -1.5. That was another thing last week against the Cardinals that you just can't have. You don't have an explanation for it. I mean, besides the fact that the Falcons really don't have a run game. They have an awesome pass game. Julio Jones was a little banged up. Hopefully the week extra here, he gets a little bit more healthy, gives all the weapons back to Matt Ryan. This is going to be a real close game. The over-under I see is 50 points. That might hold true. I mean, we might see an over on that one, but go ahead and give me the Falcons -1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons here also. Tampa Bay, I think, is first against the run defense, giving up like 81 yards a game, but they're like 29th against the pass. And that's the one thing Atlanta can do. They can throw the ball. With or without Julio Jones, I like Atlanta to cover here. It may be a 3-point game, but hey, that's a cover.
Yeah.
So give me Atlanta.
Next up, we have the Dolphins and Seahawks, and this was probably the last game I picked this week because I really wasn't sure. You got the Seahawks traveling to Miami all the way across the state. You got the Dolphins.
Across the state?
Across the nation. You got the Dolphins who haven't covered in their last 3 and haven't looked very good at all. It's amazing to me. I keep forgetting that the Seahawks actually have a rookie quarterback. And, as a guy, he doesn't make very many mistakes. He actually makes some plays to help that team win. Some of them, a la the Packers games, weren't fair, but he still made a play at the end of the game to win the game in the replacement ref's eyes. But give me the Seahawks on the road. I'm not real confident about this. To me, in my rankings, it's probably going to be a little bit lower. But Seahawks -3 right now.
This will probably be one of my lower ranked games too, and I'm actually going to go the other way. The Dolphins have not looked good the last several weeks. Seattle's been playing well. Like we always say, you get Seattle out of Washington, and they're a little bit of a different team. What I'm going to look at for this game is you've got Marshawn Lynch going against the Miami defense. They're ranked 9th against the run. Whoever wins that battle probably is going to win the game. I'm going to take Miami at home in their defense to be able to hold Lynch to a relatively quiet day. So give me Miami to cover 3.
And next up we got the Ravens traveling to San Diego. The Ravens are actually a 1-point favorite on the road. A lot of road favorites this week, now that I look at it. Go ahead and give me the Ravens. They eked out a win against the Steelers on, was that Sunday night or Monday night? It's all starting to blur together anymore. Yeah. But, Steelers were, I don't know, they were fighting for something, even with their backup quarterback. And, props to freaking, oh, crap, I'm just horrible with names. Who played quarterback for the Steelers?
Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich broke his ribs, and hung in there. And, you sit there and you watch at home, and you see that guy, he's like wincing. I'm like, you puss. But then come to find out he actually had broken ribs. He hung in there, kept it. That game he could have won that game. But on the road, Chargers are a different team. Go ahead and give me the Ravens. Look for them to bounce back, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a pretty big win for the Ravens. It's just a gut feeling on that one.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has a great defense, so irregardless of who's quarterbacking, it's always going to be a close game. They're going to keep that team in it. But I would question, where's the medical staff for Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
When your quarterback's got these
he was wincing like it, at the beginning of the fourth
and you've got
quarter.
Charlie Batch, who has been capable in coming in the past. It did make sense to me.
Not to mention that Charlie Batch has won all 3 starts he's had to do in the last 2 years. And the guy is, 37,
and yet you kept
old,
putting Leftwich out there. Now, he's going to say he's fine, but that's why you have medical staff. Beyond me. But anyways, I'm going to take Baltimore here also. I just really have a gut feeling this is more Turner's last year. This team has so much talent, they just never seem to get over the top. But I'm going to take Baltimore on the road here to win.
And next up we have the Arizona Cardinals hosting our St. Louis Rams. Sack! Yeah, that's right. I threw the sack back in because after last week's effort, they're a freaking joke all of a sudden. I mean, you come off a good fighting effort. It was a tie. But you play one of the best teams in the league to a tie in their place, and then you come back and lay an egg against not a very good Jets team. So yeah, you get sacked. But go ahead and give me the Cardinals minus 2.5. A lot of the Rod Stevens howling this week. I mean, you're going to see a lot of it. Look for the Cardinals defense at home to kind of keep the Rams off the board. I mean, basically as simple as that. The Rams offense, I don't know what happened. Sam Bradford reverted back to his shitty, his ways. He wasn't that good. And I mean, he's not a good quarterback. And if he didn't make $50 million over the next 3 years, he wouldn't be a quarterback right now in the NFL. Whatever. Fuck him.
I didn't see the soapbox under us.
Oh, that just pissed me off last week. Jacksonville gets all these guys get to sit. McCoy said, this is all people. Blaine Gabbert, he's hurt. Yeah, big deal. I don't think he'd be starting if he wasn't hurt right now. But we can't do it because he makes so much money, and we don't have a backup plan. We have Kellen Clemens behind him. So I mean, that's all Rams management. Sam Bradford's not a good quarterback, and I can't wait till he's gone. Perfect. Go.
Okay, how do I follow that? I've gone back and forth on this game. I initially had Arizona, and I thought about it. I'm like, we whipped their ass when they came here. It was 17-3. Arizona was really never in it. We dominated the quarterback. I think we had 9 or 10 sacks that game. Just outrageous. So I looked at it and I said, you know what? Going to Arizona, they want revenge. They want payback. They're going to get it.
Yeah.
And we looked like crap last week. But you can't bet based on just 1 week performance. So I switched to St. Louis. And now I'm switching back to Arizona because I really...
That was just so uninspiring last week.
I really think that Arizona, they've got Howling now, but they still don't have a great running game. But, and your quarterback, Skelton.
No.
Who is it? Oh, Cobb? He's coming back?
No. The Ridley guy or whatever. Riley. They're going like some third-string quarterback.
All right, give me St. Louis. I'll take St. Louis.
His name's like Riley or Ridley or something like that.
I don't know.
Like I said, we're not professionals, so
I'll take St. Louis, but I won't touch this game on any of my betting.
I probably won't either. Next up, we have the Packers, who are a 3-point dog on the road. They're playing the Giants. Give me the Packers. Last week we got a lot of flack because that line was weird. I'm not going to even joke with you. 4 points seemed just weird for a semi-struggling Detroit team and a Packers team that was real hot. And it's
I
like
thought it was 3.5. We covered, so it was 3.5.
Well, it was 3.5 when we did it, but it actually went up to 4 or something like that. But it wasn't weird. But the Packers struggled, but they got it done and they covered and they won by 4. Mm-hmm. And so I like the Packers in this one, +3. That's great. Yeah. If the Giants win by 1, which is a possibility, Packers cover. So go ahead and give me Packers +3.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers here also, but I do worry about that game 2 weeks ago against Cincinnati with the Giants. That was humiliating to lose the way they did and really never be in that game. You've got to think they're going to come out and put an A game on the field, but I really think Green Bay can match that. I think they're starting to click now, so I'm going to take Green Bay +3 here. And
here's we got 3 games here that wasn't even on sport. Well, yeah, the Monday night game not either, but we got the Vikings going to the Bears. Right now, the Bears are a 5.5-point favorite at home. Go ahead and give me the Vikings to cover that 5.5. Jason Campbell, I thought, would actually have an advantage over Kaepernick last week, and no. And now, granted, Campbell spent a lot of time on his ass. But the Vikings can not do that on that level, but I think they can put enough pressure on Campbell. If Cutler does not play, Vikings -5 or +5.5, I'll take that.
Yeah, I had Minnesota. This is my theme this week.
Yeah.
Called the flip flopper. I'm taking Chicago. As I thought through it, you've got Harvin coming back from an injury. You've got Ponder. You got Adrian Peterson, who's been running the ball really well. But you're going to Chicago. You're going against a defense that's lost 2 games in a row. A defense that gave up 32 points last week to San Francisco. This is a defense that's been the best in the league this year at creating turnovers, at scoring, defensive scoring. They're going to want to prove a point. And I think they're going to do it this game. I don't see Minnesota getting a lot of offense here. They might score 10, 14 points. But I agree. I have concerns about Campbell. But I look for them to have some short fields, get some early scores. I like Chicago to cover here.
And next up we have San Francisco coming off their big win against Chicago, going to New Orleans, who have been playing really well of late. Right now San Francisco is a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Give me New Orleans to actually win this game outright. It's not much of an upset, but I really think New Orleans. Sproles might not be there, but he is a big part of their offense when he's in there. So, actually I think if he gets in there, it actually just helps him out even more. But I tell you what, Drew Brees is just, I don't care what kind of defense you out there, he's going to throw the ball. And he's going to throw the ball. If he doesn't make any mistakes, they win this game. Now, it's always that big thing. If he doesn't make mistakes, well, San Francisco can make you make a mistake. But go ahead and give me New Orleans right now at home plus 2.5.
Yeah, I'm taking New Orleans also. And it's as much about Breeze, but New Orleans defense is actually playing
better. Yes.
In the last 2 weeks since they got Joe Vitt back, I guess Spagnuolo can concentrate a little more on the defense, or concentrate less. Maybe that's why they're playing better. But if the defense is coming around and the offense has always been chugging along, I don't see why they can't win this game. So for them to be a home dog, I'm taking New Orleans.
And my arch nemesis, Pittsburgh at Cleveland right now. Pittsburgh's a 3.5-point favorite on the road. Charlie Batch is starting. I think they signed Plexico Burris.
Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, the man who shot himself in the leg a few years ago. I hate to do this. Give me Cleveland at home plus 3.5. I wouldn't even listen to me on this one. I have not gotten a Pittsburgh game right. In the last 3 or 4, in a row. But I just don't. I don't know. You keep throwing a different quarterback in there and in there and there. It's going to catch up to eventually. It doesn't. Can a defense just carry your team through that kind of adversity at quarterback? But it's on the road. That's the only reason I'm doing this. Plus 3.5. Give me Cleveland. A 3-point game. Cleveland covers.
Yeah, I'm taking Cleveland also. I don't know if it's because of my disdain for our betting with Pittsburgh this year.
I don't hate Pittsburgh.
I don't either. I like Pittsburgh, but they're killing me at the betting. No, I'm taking Cleveland also. Cleveland's playing really good defense. I don't see this being a high-scoring game. If that's the case, I think you're looking at a 3-point swing. So 3.5. I'm taking the dog here. Give me Cleveland at home.
And next up, we have the Monday night game, Carolina at Philadelphia. This is another one that wasn't on our sportbook page right now. And all these games were due to injury. You have Cutler injury. Is it going to be Kaepernick or whoever the fuck the other guy is?
Kaepernick.
Is it going to be Kaepernick at San Francisco's quarterback? I'm just saying. That's the reason all these aren't in our sports page right now. These last 4 that we're doing here is because there's quarterback questions right now, and they'll wait to see what happens Friday, I think. But right now we got Carolina at Philadelphia. Carolina is actually a 2-point favorite on the road. Go ahead and give me Carolina. Philadelphia has tons of problems right now. I don't care if they're playing this at Philadelphia. If Vic doesn't play, even if Vic does play, I think they're still going to have problems. No McCoy probably this week either. So go ahead and give me Carolina -2. Another ugly game this week, but Carolina ekes it out.
To quote Bowl and Mears, Philly fucking sucks. It's showing week by week here. I'm taking Carolina -2 on the road here. Philly just look. It makes me be happy to be a Rams fan this year. Not other years, but this year.
I lost all. I think last week at a Rams game, all hope of having a decent season it felt like it went out the door in the wind and down the road through the arch and just dispersed over the whole countryside. The hope of having a decent team this year. That was such a pathetic performance. I had to turn it off. Luckily, thank God for DirecTV and the NFL package. Or it would just be boring as hell here on Sundays. But college picks.
Hey, you remembered.
Yes, I remembered. I didn't remember earlier.
All right, I'll try and be quick because there are a ton of games. I'm trying to do somewhat of a rivalry week. There's a lot of rivalry games now. There's a lot out there. The Egg Bowl, Mississippi State. You got Arizona State, Washington State. There's a lot of rivalries I'm not going to hit. I'm trying to go for the bigger marquee games and the Missouri game. You got Notre Dame is favored by 5.5 at USC. I'm taking USC here, and the reason is I'm taking them to cover, not necessarily to win. Notre Dame is playing not to lose. USC is playing to win. Notre Dame, this is their last step to get to the championship game. I look for maybe the nerves to show up a little bit. they'd probably win the game, but I'll take USC to cover. Michigan at Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 3.5. Give me Ohio State. Oklahoma State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by 7. I'm taking the Cowboys. Give me Oklahoma State. Missouri at Texas A&M. Texas A&M's favored by 22 points. Only once this year has Missouri lost by more than 22, and that was to Alabama. Don't know if James Franklin's playing. I'm doing this for the love of my team because every time I pick them, they lose. So I'm picking A&M to cover 22. So maybe we can cover a spread here.
Take that bet.
So don't bet that one.
Take that bet. You got a guy going for the Heisman in that one. So take that bet.
Florida at Florida State. Florida State's favored by 8 points at home. Florida has struggled the last 3 weeks, including one game against Missouri. I'm taking Florida State to cover 8 points. South Carolina at Clemson. Clemson's favored by 4. This is a tough one for me. I've got family that are Carolina season ticket holders, so they'll probably shoot me if I don't pick them. So I'm going to take Carolina. Only once in the last 7 years has Carolina lost by more than 4 points to Clemson. They've actually won 4 of them. So give me Carolina to cover there. Oregon favored by 9.5 at Oregon State. Earlier, a couple weeks ago, I was really thinking I'd probably take an Oregon State, depending on the line here. I'm taking Oregon after last week. I think they're going to come out and try and prove a point here. So give me Oregon in the 9.5. And then for my dad, Stanford minus 2.5 at UCLA. I'm taking UCLA. They showed me something last week. I'm iffy on that one. Don't bet that one strong. But Stanford is looking really good. But I'm gonna take UCLA to pull that upset there. That's all I got.
That's all he's got.
I think there's only 2 college games I didn't hit. Is that about right?
It's Skanksgiving. That used to be a real good time when we were younger. I mean, this Wednesday night before Thanksgiving was a real good time to go out and have a good time. But when you get older, I'm just like looking forward to editing a video and going together. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody. No cat, and there's a reason. Is this is actually mistake 2. This week we actually did stop it because for some reason, if you don't pet my cat, he goes berserk and thinks he's a badass and decides to bite you. Before we go though, a bunch of people kind of give a little shout out to Team Take'em. You guys have been killing it the last 3 or 4 weeks. Keep it up. I mean, it's really good to watch your guys' videos. Like I kind of think of what the comments like we agree all the time. I'm like, yes, we're getting picked this week. Gio knows you kind of like hit everybody. Your dry sense of humor is freaking hilarious. And the talk rapper, our buddy Devin. Check him out too. He's the one that throws out those big parlays. And there's a bunch of other guys I can't even think of right now. But everybody have a good holiday. Hopefully we're gonna hit it. Actually we differ a lot, so our rankings are gonna look a little bit different this week. I'll have our rankings for the ones we do agree on, but then I'll have it separate. And I'll have those where we have them in our own things too. So those will hopefully be up by tomorrow. So until next week. Take care.